Hey, welcome back everyone for our second dev vlog and our last one here at my girlfriend's parents' place. Today's episode, we're going to go over three things. One is an embarrassing bug that I encountered and I felt so dumb and it took me so long to fix. Second one is halfway through me updating the jump mechanics to a place where I want it to be. And then third will be those spikes that I teased in the last devlog, where I can show you that that is a completely me created from scratch, the artwork, which is not that good. We're gonna go through those items. I'm excited to show you, and let's get into it. Let's first have you find what's wrong with this game. As you can see, I managed to break all the platforms in my game. I was so confused how that happened. While editing a completely different feature, I ended up changing the animatable body 2D to an area 2D node, which caused my player to constantly just jump through the platform and not interact with the platform at all. I spent forever trying to recreate it, try to see if I can fix it with code, but it was just as simple as changing one node. Sometimes the simplest bugs are the ones that drive us the craziest, but luckily we were able to fix it. Next up, there are a few items I wanted to discuss regarding jumping. Most people in the game dev world know that there are a few different features in the background for jump mechanics. One's a delayed jump, where if you press space or jump while you're in the air, right about to land, it'll initiate a jump right away once you land. And the other one is coyote timing. Similar to the coyote cartoons, where you're able to maybe jump off a ledge, stay there for a second, and then make a decision. We have not implemented coyote timing, but we now have jump buffering. It's not actually realistic physics, but it makes the game feel so much better when you're doing more complex jumps. The way I did this is I implemented it by adding a small grace period of about 1 second while you're about to land. So the player presses jump before landing. The game tracks this input and uses a timer variable. And when you actually hit the ground, if the timer is greater than 0, instant jump, you're back in the air, ready to go to the next area. The result for this is a much smoother platform feel that feels way more forgiving. Okay, now it's time for the spikes, which I completely built from scratch myself. Currently, it triggers the kill zone when you hit it, and there's still some work to do. So I call this version 1.0 of spikes. The way I built these spikes is I used the kill zone similarly to how the enemies kill zone work. Whenever you touch the enemy kill zone, you end up with a dead character. For the spikes, however, needs to be a time where there is no death and a time when there is death. So what we do is we have actually 3 timers currently active. We have timer, I have second timer, and I have timer delay. And I realize this might not be the most efficient way to do it, but this is what came to my mind first. When the game starts, we start by starting the timer delay. And this is used to create interesting patterns in games where you're able to have maybe 2 spikes go up, 1 spike delayed, and then it goes up a few seconds later, and you can time when you're in certain areas of the spike zone so you don't die. Then once timer delay is done, it initiates the spike start timer, which will be around 3 seconds for now as default. Once the timer stops, it'll initiate the timer, the up, and then once that's done, the second timer will go to keep the spikes up and then go down, and they'll go in a loop until the player dies or the game ends. Now, I told you that this is version 1.0, and there's a few things that I want to improve upon. The first thing is, this is placeholder art. This was created in Google Slides, don't judge, and it doesn't match the art style at all. The second, I need to really work on the collision. The way that the collision works right now is collision is either active or not active and doesn't work with an animation, which means you could technically survive during certain frames with the spike up, or you could die before the spikes even fully go up. I might use an animation player instead. Okay, and that is all for Devlog 2. What do you think about jump buffering system? Is it too forgiving? Do you think it's just right? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more development updates. And hey, if you're a fellow dev, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, hear what I could do better, what you're interested in. I'm very much new at this and always interested in learning more. I'll see y'all in the next one.